I'm here now with Anahi Alcibar, and she is the program director for Life Inc. Life is for everyone, and they are so great about making sure that happens. They're based in East Salinas, and they invest in youth's educational, life, and social development, and they are also really great at partnering with the families, but also other organizations that are sharing the same commitment. They're a nonprofit organization. There's no fees for services and no religious affiliations, though they're based in a church facility. And they have an open door policy and always ready to diversify their program even more. So, Anahi, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm excited.
We are really all about the arts are the answer. And that's why the Arts Council is so happy to be supporting your program. We know that the range of services that you provide is much broader than the arts, but we really like our little part, and we really admire what you're all doing. Can you talk a little bit more about the range of services that Life provides?
Well, we offer tutoring. We try to encourage our students to seek higher education, so we do that by taking them to like campus tours and talking about higher education and bringing career speakers that have a similar background as they do to talk about their career and what it took for them to go to get the career that they have. And how did they pay for college, because one of the things is like, okay, so we're low income, my parents work in the fields, or my parents might not have enough money, how do I pay for college? So we try to encourage them to seek higher education, and that there are opportunities for them to keep going with their education. The arts is there. We also do a lot of social skills, in the sense that we try to teach them about how to, for example, we have like a cooking class now, and we have an arts and craft class, and so they're learning how to make a hat on the loom, which is it's really relaxing for them, but it's also like they're learning how to do something. And then we have the garden, which kind of goes along with the arts, because that's how it's kind of started. Because from what I remember, it was my first year there, and the board and I had already talked about a garden, but I had no idea how to start a garden. But then we had the Arts Council come in, and they were Juan Carlos and Rudy were giving the visual arts class. And so Rudy talked about how he's a farmer and he had like a farm, and the importance of nutrition and all of these different things. And then that's when I kept thinking I need to ask them for help, because
that's so great.
So I did end up asking Juan Carlos and Rudy for help, and they thought about it, and then they said yes, it was a great idea for them to like work on that with the students. And now the garden is a huge part of how we talk to the students about nutrition. And then also just we live in Salinas, right? And it's the salad bowl and all this stuff, but like some of our students, even though their parents work in the fields, don't have access to all of those vegetables and fruits that their parents harvest. And they don't even know how it's grown. So it's like the first time, so for some of them, it's the first time that they see like something grow from seed, and then watering it and nurturing it so that it could become like a fruit or a vegetable. And so that's how like our garden started. But they also, but Juan Carlos, they walked them through the process of like, what do you want to see in your garden? What kind of things do you want to, just grow? And then how do you think they'll grow? And then the process of like planting the plants, and then just seeing it grow. And then we actually even built a relationship with Urban Arts Collaborative with Juan Carlos. And then we actually have an intern that's specifically for the garden now, that works with Juan Carlos and us. And
that is so amazing.
He's more in charge of our garden project, and he works with the students. So we have a garden class, and students that are interested in just gardening and like playing with the dirt and stuff. They work with Gio and Geo is more like teaching them like this is how we do the rows, and they're gonna set up a water drip system, water drip system and stuff. So those are things that like sometimes students don't get like a chance to do, and then they're getting it done now. And it started all because of the Arts Council, because we were I just kept thinking how do I do this, right? But also like the other teachers that have came, like one of the things that I liked is that like well, for the teachers that we got in are mostly Latinos, which is really awesome for us because most of our students are Latinos, and so there'll be teachers that will ask them like, okay, do you want me to do this in Spanish or English or, and I think there's a lot of pride in like having them speak Spanish because then they can say like maybe mix it a little, right, like Spanglish, and then they'll still be able to understand each other. And then I think that's a huge difference for them, where it's not just like, oh, like, because some of them, well, for all of them, Spanish is their first language, but for some of them, like, they don't, they're barely transitioning into being like fluent, like, English speakers. So they might know some words in English, but not in, I mean, in Spanish, but not in English, and so that works out pretty well for us.
That's amazing. So tell us more about the kids themselves. How do they find you? What are their ages? Tell us just a little bit more about themselves.
Okay, so I recently started working there in 2015, but most of the students that come to us are by word of mouth. So because we only have like limited space for the students that we serve, we actually don't table a lot, and so I lived in Salinas since I was 10, and I didn't know about this program until I started working there. And it's because like there's always, I mean, you always have like a waiting list, right? So but most of them, they live around the neighborhood, so they'll just come walking from school. So some of them go to like Fremont, LMK, Jesse G. Sanchez, La Paz Middle School. We have one student from Washington Middle School. So all of the students, they either walk there or their parents bring them. But it's mainly by word of mouth. And we have first grade all the way to 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
So we have like a range of like ages throughout there. But we always encourage the older students to help out the younger students. So like if the older students finish with their homework and reading, then we encourage them to go to like the 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade and read with them so that the younger students can practice their reading. But it also helps them to like feel like, well, they are making a difference in the younger students, and like they have a purpose at our program, like just helping each other. So
and I understand that you have at least one person who went through your program and then came back around to be, is it a volunteer or a staff person? But in any case, came back around. Can you tell me that person's story?
So this person, he went through the program, and from what I was told, like he was shy, and he in like life is where he learned how to not be shy and be outgoing and help others. But he finished until 8th grade, and then throughout his high school years, he came back and volunteered.
Oh, wow.
And then later on, when I came in, he tried to come back and volunteer, but he had just recently started a family, so that was a little bit difficult for him. But it's really awesome when we have those students come back. And then there is actually another student that I can think about where she did go from, I think, 1st grade all the way to 8th grade and volunteered throughout her high school years. And then she came back as a staff member for a while. But then it didn't work out, and then last year she was a senior in high school, and she wanted to go to East Bay, and she didn't. She needed financial help, but we also have a scholarship program.
Oh, wow, that's amazing!
So that they can apply for if they've been part of our program. Wow. So she actually applied for the scholarship and got a scholarship, and right now she's at CSU East Bay.
Wow. That's exquisite.
Yeah.
So tell me more about Juan Carlos and Rudy and what they're doing with the kids and how the kids respond to them as part of the whole system. I mean, you have a wonderful program with so much to do and so many benefits for the kids who are able to come. But can you talk a little bit more about the arts dimension, how that complements what you're trying to accomplish?
Yes. So I think because a lot of them, if you think about Salinas, right, and like the neighborhoods where we're working from, a lot of the students live in apartment complexes that don't have enough space for them to play, and or even experience nature. So where we're at is actually like a pretty awesome location because we have a huge front yard and backyard as well, and our garden is actually in the back. So part of it is like when Juan Carlos and Rudy came in to work with us, they also brought in like, let's connect with nature, right? Like it's like art, but let's connect with nature.
To them, it's really combined. It's almost like the same to a huge degree. Yeah.
So Juan Carlos would like bring him out and like do like stretching exercises and like breathing exercises. And that was actually really awesome because a lot of the times we, even as adults, don't do that.
Right.
We don't take that time to just breathe in and like relax for a while. And so he was teaching them how to do that. And through their paintings, like they were also talking about like their like a mandala, right? And so like a flower and how do you see it in nature? When you see that in nature, like what do you think about, right? And then like dream catchers, and the other one was a self-portrait. And so a lot of the students, when you think about like a self-portrait, you're like, wait, what do I draw, right? So that was them. And then so Juan Carlos was like, what's who you are, like what makes you? And so you see a lot of people like writing, like drawing flowers and like their family members and all these different things. And then, but also like in what they did is also incorporate, like, because we also work with parents, we do have parent meetings with them. So like they brought in like the parents, right? And so the parents also helped out through the process of the garden to like put in the boxes and all these different things. And that was really awesome for us too, because the parents felt like, okay, so this garden is our garden, and it's like it's a community garden actually. And they take care of it, and they work really hard to like have it there. So like throughout the summer, like a parent actually came in and made quesadillas with squash for the students from like the squash that we grew in the garden.
That must have been a great moment.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and then but they also come in and so. And then I think the other one that they brought in was kind of art as a actual, like, as a career, right? Because a lot of people think like, oh, art, you don't make money out of it. Like, what are you going to do with art? But it's actually, I mean, if you think about Juan Carlos and the work he's doing, I mean, he's using his career, his art to change the community, to change the way students are living, the way the students are looking at the world, and it's like through art, and it's his career. And a lot of our students are like, oh, I want to be like him, or I want to learn more about nutrition and all that stuff, and it just combines both of them, and I think that's pretty awesome.
That's wonderful. So how did you get all started in all of this? What's your background that led you to life?
So I actually, so I lived in Salinas. Well, I actually was born in Mexico, and I was brought here when I was 10 years old. And I always thought like of myself as I need to do something for my community, but I didn't know what. And then I actually went through graduated from Alvarez High, and because of my legal status here, I wasn't able to go straight to a 4-year, but I ended up going to Harnell, and then I was pretty involved there, in the student government, in the community, and everything. And then I got the chance to transfer to UC Santa Cruz. And while I was there, I actually studied sociology and psychology. And when I was graduating, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, like where I wanted to work. But I did know I wanted to work in the nonprofit sector because I feel like nonprofits always make that difference in like people's life. And I actually kind of stumbled upon Life is for Everyone. I was just applying to different jobs, and I never actually pictured myself working with kids. I mean, when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't know how to go about it either. Yeah. And then when I was applying for jobs, I found Life is for Everyone, and I didn't. I was kind of like, do I say yes? Do I say no? Yeah. Like, what if I don't make like a difference? Yeah. What if I'm not good at the job? But I decided to give it a chance, and I actually learned a lot from the students.
That's wonderful.
Because you know, like they go to school and you like talk to them, and they come and they tell you about their day and all these different things, and then you're just like, wow, like you have such a broad perspective about life, and their open-mindedness about like learning and about just like the world as a whole. But that's I like to say like I kind of stumbled upon it. But I really like working there, and I'm just like how like lucky I got to get this job, because it's like every day you go there and you don't know what you're gonna have, because the students will either come and they tell you like a funny joke, or they tell you about their day, or they tell you like, oh, I need help with this. And so I think that's the beauty of it, that you're making a difference and you're learning about the students, and you know that you're growing like future leaders of tomorrow, right? Like you're nurturing them, and somehow like they're gonna come back and give back to their community, and that's what I like about it.
Well, they're lucky to have you. And I just want to end, we have just another minute here, but if people want to help, your whole group is nonprofit, you're obviously doing beautiful work, and it really is such an important thing to have happen. So what if somebody's watching right now and they say, well, I just want to help. I can't run your program, I can't even volunteer, but I want to help. What can they do?
Oh, okay. So actually, I'm running right now a Gofundme campaign.
Oh, you are? Well, that's good.
Because our students really want, because we offer a summer program, but because of like their low income, there's not enough money. Like there's transportation is an issue all the time. Some of them want to like do like mini summer camps that like the SPCA is doing, aerial theater, the Lyceum. And so we're like raising money so that we can send some of our students to those different camps, so that they can learn about like maybe if they're interested in SPCA, some of them are interested in being vets, and like learning about like, oh, do I really want to be a vet, you know, or like do I want to go into theater, or do I want to learn about like the stars and like the planets and all this stuff, and like that to them is like an experience that most of them would not have unless like we had.
That's really awesome. So can you tell me, you just go to GoFundMe.com and then...
it's called Life Summers Adventures.
Summers Adventures.
Yes. We also have a Facebook page, and it's called Life is for Everyone, Inc. And I do have...
You have a GoFundMe link on that?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And it's been such a great pleasure to talk with you, and I hope we can do this again. Maybe in the summer. So anyways, it's really, really, really great to have you here. And I just really am so happy about what you're doing and the magic that happens at life. Thank you.
Thank you.